Hello, everybody. This is the Planet Earth here. How you guys doing today? So, I want to talk about this today, and I think this might be a pretty good advice video for anybody that's out there. Future generations. I don't know how long YouTube's going to be here, so I'm just going to go ahead and give this advice. It's not going to be the best advice. It's just going to be the advice that I can live on. So this will be everything. I'm going to give everything that I can think of into this video. Everything. Everything as of 2023 going forward. The year of 2023 going into the year 2200 and beyond. I want to give advice to future generations, and well, that's pretty much it. Some advice I want to give, because I know that things are going to change in the future, and things will not be the same within 10 years from now. But, things are going to be a little bit more futuristic. Almost all cars on the road by the year 2030 will be very futuristic looking, but I just kind of want to give, what I think will happen and what advice I could give so that you could live a somewhat of a good existence, I suppose. Yeah. So, I want to kind of give a back history of my growing up a little bit. When I was a kid, I used to go to the movie theaters a lot, and I'd go watch movies. So we didn't have the cellular devices that we have now, smartphones. We had phones. Don't get me wrong. We had cell phones when I was growing up in 1994, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. But they were big, bulky-ish phones. And they were big and bulky. They were Motorola. I think Eckerson. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But I know Motorola. And batteries didn't last very long even after they were fully charged. So, things I could probably give advice about and kind of give you a screenshot, because that's what you would know what that means. Like a screenshot of the past into now. And what has become of the current state of 2023. I'm not even counting 2023 anymore. It's just like 3 days away. So, I mean, we're at that mark already of I'm just going to count it as 2023. We grew up, I grew up in the 90s. I started to remember things in the 90s. My first memory was a Lion King doll. That was my first memory. My first major memory of my uncle bringing me a Lion King doll. So, Lion King, I think, came out in 94 or 93. I don't remember what year it was. But I think it was 94. That Lion King doll. My very first memory was SeaWorld, climbing through a play place at SeaWorld. I can't remember nothing before that. And I had a cup that had like an Indiglow. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it was like it glows in the dark, but it was a cup that you could put ice and drinks in. And that's all I can remember. All I remember is climbing on a play place of some, like a McDonald's type play place. Back in like 94, 93. It was probably like 93 or 94. I think it was 93. I can't remember nothing before that. So, the 90s were probably, in the term of the 80s, probably the best you were going to get for back then. 90s and the 80s. probably some of the best times that you were ever going to get, ever. And I mean ever. So, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but I want to put this out on the internet for everybody to reference going into the future. We had a lot of fun back in the 90s. I had a lot of good times. I had a lot of bad times, but I had a lot of good times too. Target, JCPenney's, the malls are always packed, especially on the weekends and closer to Christmas. My mall was packed. I mean, there wasn't one space back in like the 1990s. There wasn't one space available. People were happy. I mean, everybody was at the mall. When they got off of work near Christmas, I'd say like 5 to 6 days before, those malls were packed. People buying wrapping paper, people buying expensive gifts sometimes. I mean, there wasn't a spot. There wasn't a spot. And there's like hundreds of parking spots. All of them were full. All the stores were full. All of them. Back in the Christmas shopping days of the mid-90s. Not the late 90s, but the mid-90s. Before the fall of said mall. Target, Kmart, TGIF. I don't know. There was a store we had there. It had 4 letters on it, but I don't remember what it was called. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was TGIF or I don't remember what it was called, but they had fish aquariums, and it was inside the mall. But they had fish aquariums. They had exotic animals. They don't do that. They don't do that these days. They had cats. They had dogs. They had snakes, spiders. They had like watches that you could buy, and not like cheap watches, like Casios. It was a very simple time, and I actually kind of I miss those days. I genuinely miss those days. I really actually miss those days. And I know that I'm not going to get those days back. So it sucks. Making a phone call was always interesting. You could make a phone call. Either at a payphone. And then do the little, I would like to make a collect call. And then I would make a collect call, but it wouldn't just be like a collect call. It would be like, so the operator would dial the phone number and it would just ring once. And then my uncle would know to come pick me up. It was really weird. I don't know how that worked, but that's how I did it. I mean, not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes I'd have coins and, you know, I'd be able to make a phone call. And then he'd come pick me up. Let's see what else. Cars were simple. They didn't have a radio, a digital radio, digital display, digital thermostat. It was just bang. It was just a manual button, left, right, and heater, cool, AC. There was no in between. Gas prices in the 90s in the United States, particularly here in the South, were, well, this is the deep South. I mean, this is like south of the South. I mean, this is as south as the South as you can go. But I think it was like around $1.10 or $1.20. I don't remember very well the gas prices. Unleaded gas prices. I know it was cheap though. In 1995, when we'd go grocery shopping, I remember that with $100, you could get 2 carts of groceries, full all the way to the top. I do remember that. Morton Salt. I remember all that. I'd be like, Ma, I didn't even break 100. That's what my uncle would say. Because he would always be talking to my grandmother. And I remember him saying, wow, I didn't even break 100. He always used to say that. So we'd have like 2 carts. It would take us like 6, 7 times of packing groceries fully. Well, me as a kid, it would take like a lot to, get the groceries inside the house. But I remember it wasn't even breaking $100. And he'd be like, wow, I didn't break 100. I don't know too much of the price of the cell phones. I think it was like 50 cents a call or 25 cents a call or 20 cents a call. I don't remember how much it was. But I do remember that when I was but when I was at a hotel, I remember seeing signs of like 7-Eleven. Not 7-Eleven, I'm sorry. Of Motel 6. And I would see their signs up, and their signs would say $19.99, $29.99. I think. I think the lowest I've seen it when I was younger, it would say $39.99 a night, or I think the most I ever saw back in the 90s was $49.99. I think per night, so $50 a night. But on the off-peak season, lowest I think I ever saw it was $29.99. No joke, $29.99 in the big cities. I'm just trying to put the video out here for my memories, because eventually I'm not going to remember these memories for some reason. I'm just not going to remember them. And I thought I would share this with YouTube and to try to give advice. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the advice. If your family treats you well, cherish every moment. If your family treats you like crap, leave them at 18. Don't stay with them if you can. If you can, don't stay with them. They're toxic. Leave them. So, try to stay away from these people that are toxic. Toxic family is not good. Don't always trust people. Don't put your trust in people if you can. People that you barely know or don't know too well. You need to you literally need to figure out who you can and cannot trust, and do that early, like before you even hit an adult. Be very careful. If you're a young girl, do not get in anybody's car. Do not get in anybody's car. It's very dangerous. Only get in your mother or father or your boyfriend's car, and that's it. Don't get in nobody else's car. For the guys, pay attention to your surroundings. It's very dangerous. And it's going to get more dangerous. Do not try to live you know how many times you've gone around now? Okay, do not try to live in big cities, if possible. Also, when you're driving a motor vehicle in the future, because in the future it'll be a combination of maybe hybrids or full electric vehicles, don't follow too closely to people. Keep your distance in the space between a vehicle when you're driving. Don't brake check people, and do not give them in the Northeast of the United States of America. A lot of people give the middle finger. Yeah, don't give them the middle finger. It's not worth road rage. I've seen people. I've literally seen people crashing because of it in person, and crashing hard. We're talking like very bad crashes because of road rage, or they might pull out a gun. That's not good. So do me a favor. Whatever you do, and no matter how angry you get, do not road rage. Don't road rage. Do not live in New York City. And do not live in Los Angeles if you're young. Try not to live too close to the West Coast and too close to the East Coast. Try to find a balance of so many miles away from an ocean. Let me explain why. I know this is stupid. I know this doesn't happen in the United States all the time. On the West Coast, there is a chance of a massive earthquake from Chula Vista, California, all the way up past Seattle, Washington. There's always a chance of a tsunami and or an earthquake. There is a chance. It's remote, but it can happen. California has been affected by little tsunamis, but if an earthquake is in the wrong place at the wrong time, it can cause you to die in a tsunami or an earthquake. San Andreas fault line goes through San Francisco, and it also goes all the way through just east of Los Angeles and north of Los Angeles. So stay away from those areas. I understand that LA is beautiful, like physiologically, it's a beautiful place. It's very beautiful. LA is a beautiful place, and so is Miami. Stay away from this. This is the city that I need you to stay away from, no matter how technology advances. Stay away from Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, Staten Island, West Brooklyn. Stay away from most of Queens. You could live east of Queens, but don't live in the Queens or inside the metro area of New York City. It is congested. It is dangerous, especially if you're taking the subways. It's been like this for the last 60 years. I don't see it getting any better, especially with bad politicians in office, very corrupt politicians. Possibly better if you don't live in New York or New Jersey. You could possibly get away with living in New Jersey, but try to live in like Sussex County, New Jersey, and not in like Passaic or Newark areas. Don't live in those areas. Jersey City, just try not to live in those areas. Try to live in areas like Westfield if you're going to live in New Jersey. As for New York, I don't know too much about it. I mean, I drove New York City, but I still don't know, like, the inner workings of New York City itself. Do not live in, they're okay. I mean, if you have to, you have to. But try not to live in Compton or Watts, South Central Los Angeles. Try not to live anywhere around there. Yeah, try not to live anywhere around there. Man, these people don't know how to drive. How are you going to get out of the car? How are you going to get out of the car? Dude, you left yourself a foot of room. How are you going to get out of the car, dude? How are you going to get out of it? Oh, you want to just chill next to me then? All right, whatever, dude. Okay, now. I lost my train of thought. So, hear me out. Don't live in Compton, Watts, South Central. Live in areas if you can afford it. And you do want to live in LA. Live in the hills of California. Anywhere in the hills. Malibu. San Juan Capistrano. I mean, we're talking the rich areas. San Diego, parts of San Diego. Live in those areas. Live in between San Diego and Los Angeles, like Orange County, but like southern Orange County. Try not to live in the valley areas of California, the Inland Empire. It's nice, but it gets really fucking hot. and you're not on the west end of those mountains, and it just gets so damn hot, don't live there. Don't move there. Don't live there. Don't live in Bakersfield. Don't live in just don't live in Bakersfield. Okay, you're gonna be baking, so don't live there unless you have to. Don't live in the high Inland Empire or the high desert. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth living there. It's too hot during the summer, too cold during the winter. If you gotta have to live in Los Angeles, you're gonna have to live on the. You need to live within 2 miles inland of Los Angeles. I prefer Torrance, Palos Verdes. Oh, I can't get enough of Palos Verdes though. You know, I mean, you can get away with Long Beach, but I just prefer I prefer Palos Verdes. I prefer Torrance, California. If I'm gonna live anywhere, Torrance or Palos Verdes. Look it up, Palos Verdes, California. The most beautiful place I ever seen. What else? Also, try to live in an elevated area in your city or state where you're going to live after you turn 18 years old, where you're going to move to. Live in an elevated area of at least 500 feet above sea level. So try to pick a city that's at least 500 feet above sea level. And then pick an area of that town that is usually highest in elevation. So it lowers your chance of flooding. Yeah. Try not to piss people off. I understand that you can't make everybody happy. Try not to piss people off, though. Just try not to piss people off, okay? Try not to piss people off. Try not to get them angry. Try not to make enemies if possible. If I'm not saying that I'm just saying, don't make enemies. Try not to piss people off. You should be okay. I don't see any issues. Just don't piss people off. Like I said, you cannot make everybody happy. You can't. I cannot please everybody. You cannot please everybody. It's just an unfortunate thing. You cannot make everybody happy. You cannot you just can't make everybody happy. Everybody has a different mind and a different soul. Some are more angrier than others. Every day they get angry and they want to bash out and hurt people. And that's why they belong in jail. But unfortunately, can't make everybody happy. Try not to get yourself in a sticky situation. Whether it be electrical cars or regular cars, make sure you maintenance them motherfuckers. Whether you're a female or male or whatever, make sure you take care of your vehicle, whether it's electric or not. Make sure you get your tires rotated on those electric vehicles. You might forget to rotate your tires. Make sure you rotate those motherfuckers so you get the best life out of them and so you don't become a danger on the road. Replace the tires and the battery inside your electric vehicle. It should be a 12-volt battery. It's a backup battery. Always replace the batteries after about 2 or 3 years. Just do it. Just do it. Even if the battery's still good. You're better off just replacing the battery. You're less likely to get stuck. Your car will start up better in the cold, especially if it's a good working battery. Just replace the damn battery. Replace the 12-volt car battery. It might be something different in the future. Just replace it every 2 or 3 years. Just replace it. I don't care if it's in good shape or not. Stop getting stuck in the road because of a bad battery. Your alternator will last a little bit longer, too, if you do that. Because you could have a good battery, but you might have a failing alternator. So, just replace the damn battery. I don't care. You can say whatever you want. I'm not a mechanic, but just replace the fucking battery every 2 or 3 years. I don't care if it's still working. Replace it. If you got a warranty, if your battery goes out, keep the receipt to that damn thing, and you'll get a brand new battery or a discounted battery. Do not play games with that. Just replace it every 2 or 3 years. It may not stop you from breaking down, but your vehicle will last a lot longer if you just replace the battery every 2 or 3 years. I understand that some batteries can last 5 or 10 years, whatever. But lead acid batteries and even lithiums, they just don't last that long in the heat. Remember, inside that hood of your vehicle, not in the electric cars, but in regular combustion engine vehicles, it gets really fucking hot in there. It wears out the lead acid. And then it also gets really cold in most of the world. So during the wintertime, it really hurts the vehicles. And then if you live in a cold climate, it's even worse. In the future, electric vehicles might be able to sustain the cold. I don't think so through lithium. Lithium does not work well in the cold. It only works well at about, I would say probably from 20 Fahrenheit to like 110 Fahrenheit maybe, but 110 is pushing it. Because inside there, it's probably be about 180, 190 degrees. Through that, just because it's hot, the batteries are hot. So the optimal probably temperature, 72 degrees. I mean, that's probably going to be the ultimate battery temperature, to be honest with you. 72 Fahrenheit would probably be the best battery temperature for recharging, discharging, recharging, discharging. So definitely look into that, okay? Because in the future, I don't know if they're going to make electric cars where in extreme cold will not bother them anymore. I do know for a fact that Energizer lithium batteries, as they don't produce that much power in the voltage range, they can survive negative 40 degree temperatures. So there might come a time where one of the truck manufacturers are going to come out with a battery that can go far, but also it can take extreme temperature without degrading the battery much or at all. I mean, maybe a couple miles off at max. But there will be a time where electric vehicles will be able to work in even the coldest environments in the world. There will be a time. But right now, electric vehicles, no. Not at all. Don't go to jail. Don't commit crimes. If you commit a felony, it's over. Your rap sheet, it's over. I mean, if you get a felony, it's over. It's over. You're not going to get a normal job. You're not going to get a normal life. You'll be banned from like 60 to 70% of apartments in the United States of America. You won't be able to get a job that you want to. You won't be able to go to college like you want to. In most areas, they may do a background check, and you're not going. Don't commit a felony. Just don't do it. And if possible, if you're drunk, don't have a firearm in your vehicle. Okay? It's illegal. If you're drinking and you get caught with a weapon, they will take your weapon and charge you. That will ruin your record. Do not carry a firearm of any kind in your vehicle if you're going to be drunk driving. You shouldn't be drunk driving either. If you're inebriated or intoxicated, you're fucked. Don't do that. Put the weapon and put it in your house and keep it in your house. Because at least you might get a DUI, but at least they won't take your gun rights away. Don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid. Don't commit crimes if you can, if possible. Don't loot. Don't riot. Try not to loot or riot. It's not worth the charges. I'm sorry. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at the end of the day. You ruin everything. You're going to ruin your chances to get apartments. You're going to ruin your chances to get a house. Oh, no, well, you can get a house if you have a lot of money, but not the point I'm making. You ruin a lot of opportunity in your life when you have a felony on your record. A lot of opportunity is lost because you decided to commit something like a robbery, or you try to get in a fight with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm scared of committing a crime, bro. And I don't want to go to jail. Ever go to jail. Man, fuck jail, bro. That shit's scary, dude. I don't want to go to no goddamn jail, bro. I'm sorry. I'm scared of fucking jail. I don't care what nobody says. I'm scared of jail. I watch jail documentaries all the time. I don't want to go to the clank. I don't want to hear that clank. The bars clank. No, that's not fun. I won't have access to to lady. I won't have access to cell phones. I won't have access to nothing. So don't commit the crime, because I cannot do the time. And I don't want to go to jail. Try not to get in a fight with people. Try not to piss them off. Try not to. I mean, I know it's hard because a lot of people have mental illness, or they have a psychotic breakdown, or they're doing drugs. Try not to get in a fight with them. Try as hard as you can. Try not to get in a fight with them. I understand that it might be hard, but try not to get in a fight with these people, because they're just not good people. But look, don't get in a fight with them. It's not worth going to jail. Don't go to jail. Please. This is all advice I can give. I don't know who else to give it to, because, I mean, who's going to watch this video? I mean, a couple people might see it, but if they even watch the first 5 minutes of the video, you know, I hope it helps them. I hope it helps them. I don't think it will, but I hope it'll help them a little bit. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth the jail time. Fuck jail, bro. You ruin your life when you go to jail. You ruin it. It's over. You get a felony, it's over. You commit fraud, it's over. You're not going to go to an apartment. You're not going to be able to get a regular apartment. You're not going to be able to get a normal life. It's very hard for felons to find jobs. It genuinely is. I hear the stories all the time on these documentaries. It's hard for felons to find jobs. That's sad, but that's how it is here in the United States as of 2023. Just don't go to jail. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Don't go to jail. Also, hate to say this, always lock your doors. I understand that if you live in a small town, you could probably get away with not locking it for a while. But in general, don't lock it. Don't keep your doors open. Keep your windows locked. Keep your doors locked for the most part, especially at night. I understand that anything can happen during the daytime. If you live out in the middle of the country, I mean, you probably don't have to lock your door much. You live out in the middle of nowhere and you got like trail cams or, you know, alerts or something like that. Yeah, you probably don't have to worry about it. But lock your doors. A lock won't keep somebody from breaking it open. But if you're a lady, you need to lock your door. Sorry. Lock your door. If you're a lady, lock your door. If you're a guy, lock your door. If you're a kid, lock your door. Lock your car doors, too. Another one. Especially ladies. Do not keep your doors unlocked while you're in your vehicle. If you have to keep doing it manually, look in the settings of your car to see if they auto-lock. When you start the car and you put it into gear, sometimes they auto-lock, but unfortunately, some vehicles have like these sensors that you could put your feet underneath the vehicle and it'll open up the back of the trunk. Turn that feature off so people can't rob you or do anything like that, like kidnap or nothing. Keep the settings off. Keep the doors locked at all times. When you turn, okay, another way that I want you to do is when you're at a gas station, assuming that you're not in an electric vehicle or at a Tesla charging station. When you're charging your Tesla, lock your door. I understand that people can break your glass. Lock your door. Lock your door anyway. Don't be dumb. Lock your door. Okay? It can prevent people from accidentally opening your door or hurting you. Just lock your fucking door. Lock your car door. When you're in a hotel room, not only do you need to lock the lock and the flap, you need to put something between the flap and the lock so they can't use their tools to open up the hotel rooms. Hopefully in the future that'll change with better security. But they have to get into the room. If you're having a medical emergency, if somebody has passed away in a hotel or motel, They need to be able to get into the room without busting the door all the time. So a master lock will open the lock, and then they have a tool to slide the door open, and they'll slide the latch open. But unfortunately, a lot of thieves have that. Do something to where that lock is secure too, so they can't easily just bust into the room. And always carry a knife or some sort of a bear mace or something. Have some basic protection, maybe a small flashlight. Have some basic protection on you at all times for the rest of your life. Take trips. Go see things if you can. Go see things for sure. Yeah, definitely go see things. But anyways, that's some basic advice. I understand that it's a little bit basic, but don't commit crimes. That's the biggest one. Don't commit crimes. Keep yourself secure. And try, this is the biggest one I keep saying. In your lifetime, try not to piss people off if possible. If somebody is coming after you right now, like if somebody was coming after your vehicle, tap them with your car and run. If they got like a knife or something, just tap them with your car and then run. And then, you know, tap their door shut or something like that so they can't really get in and follow you. If you're being followed by a vehicle, this is the best thing that you can do. Go to a police station or see if they're following you first. Obviously, you know, take some streets. Don't go to your house. Don't go to your apartment. Don't go anywhere near that. Go away, but stay in the city. Stay in the city lanes. You call 911. You tell them that you feel like you're being followed. You give them every address, every street signs. Make sure they know everything. What kind of car is it? What does it look like? Are they telling you really hard? Tell them everything. Do not let them follow you. Pay attention to your surroundings. Like even with my limited, you know, I look inside cars and I see who's inside the vehicles and who's not. And I try to pay attention on who is next to me. I do that when I'm not on camera. And it's not because I feel like they're going to break into this car because there's nothing in here. But they might be trying to break in for you, especially if you're a lady. You know, most likely that's going to happen to you. So pay attention. If you feel uncomfortable, start your car and leave. Right away. Right away. Just get in your car and leave. Coming out of Walmart, coming out of Target, coming out of anywhere, leave. You get in your car, start it, immediately lock your doors, and leave. And make sure nobody's following you. Any store, anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, do not let those motherfuckers follow you. Because they're sadistic in nature, nasty. If you feel like someone's following you, you need to start going to public places immediately. Has to be packed, full places. And if you can't get their plates and call 911. Call your local emergency immediately. Do not joke about this. Call and give all the descriptions and everything. Some of them might have a gun. Some of them might be wanting to do something really bad. Keep going. Do not stop the vehicle. If you have to run some stoplights, depending if anybody's coming, do it. Run it. Because they're going to keep following you either way. And they might have a better chance of attacking you if you're at a stoplight. And now, if there's no traffic coming, it's the middle of the night, run the light. If there's a police officer there, perfect. Because when they pull you over, this guy is following you. Or this person's following you. Perfect. It's even better. So, if nobody's coming, run the red light. Run the stop sign if nobody's coming. Pay attention. Do what you got to do to attract attention. Honk. If you feel very uncomfortable, honk. And make sure everybody knows that you're driving down the street. Somebody's following you. Get them off your tail. Do a lot of maneuvers, a lot of streets, a lot of stop signs running. You know, as long as nobody's coming, of course. That's not perfect advice, but, you know, still try to follow the law. But in a general term, if you feel that uncomfortable, you're going to have to do what you got to do to get the hell away from these people. Also, when you're at a gas station and you're pumping your gas, but then you all of a sudden see somebody come up at you, use the gas on them. Pump the gas right up on them. They'll want to leave. They're not going to want to stay there with gasoline all over them. So, and if you're at a charging station, you saw people coming, you don't have enough time to get out, put that, take that thing off. Well, it's a breakaway. So, I mean, theoretically, it should break away. You drive as fast as you can with your Tesla, whatever. Get the fuck out of there as quick as possible, as soon as you feel uncomfortable. Like, if they park right next to you at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're the only one charging, and they got, like, blackout windows, and they're kind of acting suspicious or knocking on your window, then it's time for you to bounce. It's time for you to bounce. Get out of there, get up on the phone and start talking with somebody immediately and telling them the description of the vehicle and where you're at. And if it feels very uncomfortable, call the police. This is the only life advice I think I can give for ladies and some guys. Don't let people fuck you up. I don't know why we as a human species, we even have this problem to begin with. And I still don't understand it to this day. I don't understand it. Why we humans are, some humans are so sadistic. Yeah, it's really sad. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a good evening, a good day, or good morning, wherever.